Welcome to Hip Hop Squares, VMA edition. Tonight we got a booed up battle. LMA squares off with Mustard. Let's meet the squares. The king is in the house. All hail Tip. The untamable is Tamar Braxton. And now, here's your host, DeRay.
Welcome to Hip Hop Squares VMA edition.
Starting its third season on VH1 is Hip Hop Squares. And joining me right now is the host of Hip Hop Squares, DeRay Davis. Hey, DeRay.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing, DeRay?
I'm doing good. Greetings from Las Vegas.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Is it hot there?
Oh, it's hot. It's about 110 degrees, maybe 115 today. It's hot.
It's a basketball game overtime number.
So, DeRay, when I was a kid, I'm Generation X. One of the greatest things about being homesick from school was I got to watch the Hollywood Squares. I mean, I love that show growing up. Now, with Hip Hop Squares on VH1, what are you guys doing to make it your own identity, to give it your own mark?
I'll say we highlight the celebrities a little more. Back in the day, everyone I remember Hollywood Squares, everybody was like super rich, super laid back. I think we go at each other a little more on here. And, you know, everything spreads faster now. Like, they got the IG and they have all the social media, so things get blown out of proportion a lot. But I'll say the hip-hop in it is just to invite the culture into it, as pop culture has superseded everything. We're having a good time just like that show. But I'll say one of the main differences, as the contestants are celebrities also now, so they play for the money for their fans, different than back in the day when the fans would just play the game. So, but it's still the same, you know, still has that same blueprint, still having a good time, still a whole lot of craziness and madness going on, but yeah.
Now, with season 3 beginning on VH1, you must have a mad rush for people who want to be contestants.
Definitely. I mean, I'll get an email or a text from a new rapper or somebody just saying, hey, man, I'm an artist and why I can't be on Hip Hop Squares? Or I run into a hip hop icon who's like, yo, why am I not on Hip Hop Squares? Tell Cube to call me. And I'm like, hey, man, I have nothing to do with that. But there's always competition, even within the game show, or those guys wanting to win. And it's competitive, man. Even if they're just competing as far as personalities go in the square to see who could be the craziest in that moment, you know?
Now, we all know the center square is the prime real estate for Hip Hop Squares. How do you get it and who gets it?
Everybody wants that square. Of course, Ice Cube, the EP on the show, he gets that square whenever he's there. There's no question. But I like that square to make people feel at home who don't come on a lot. People are there for like 5 or 6 episodes. It's good that we fall into our positions because we know how to play the game. Someone new coming on, a DJ Khaled, a Rick Ross, someone sitting at that center square, we'd like to invite them in to make them feel at home before we ship them out to the outside squares. So I think it's more of an entry square than it's honorary now, except when the EP's there.
Now, DeRay, you probably realized this a while ago. You're part of an exclusive club. You're a game show host.
I'll say one of the weird things is people often think you're talking to yourself because you got the ear thing and people are like, what's wrong with him? And you're like, I'm talking to God. I'll say one of I'll give advice to people that want to host is no matter what, keep smiling, you know, because it's going to always be a lot going on in your head, a lot going on in your ear. Have a good time in the moments where you can, because a lot of times you want to play the game. And keep the game going. Keep pushing, man. You got to be the ringleader in this circus. That's what it is. You know, I mean, especially now, most game shows involve celebrities and everybody's rich and everybody's lit and having a good time. So you got to always reel it back in. Always be that anchor. You know?
So Ice Cube's not only the executive producer of Hip Hop Squares, he's a contestant, he's the narrator, he does everything. Is he just too cool or what?
Yeah, man. He's cool. He's, he's just dropped another album. Cube stays working, man. I don't know what Cube does everything. I think Cube could host this show, too, if he wanted to. I'm just glad he gave me the job.
Now, I've watched Hip Hop Squares, and I bet there's a lot you can't air. So you must have the most incredible blooper reel for the rap party.
I don't think people want to see themselves like that. So our blooper reel would probably be just too real, if that's a good way to put it. It's insane, man. I would love to watch some of that stuff in a private room with nobody around, no cameras.
Hey, DeRay, you got to be excited. I just heard Snowfall renewed for a 4th season on FX. Excited?
I am, man. I love the transition of doing this and hosting and being a comedian and touring, and then to be on that show created by John Singleton, to have so much pulled the way it's pulling in so many audiences, and just, you know, I love to be able to be that character too. So I go from super crazy to just crazy, you know, to like super crazy comedy to a crazy psychotic killer. It's always fun to do.
And I loved your Netflix special. It killed. Any plans to work with Netflix in the future?
I love Netflix. They're very comfortable for comedians. It's a brand that has grasped the comedy game very well. So I love that. And they send me everywhere. Netflix is everywhere. So I've been in all of these countries, over 200 countries, and people know your comedy and don't have to know your voice. You know, they could just read it, and it still comes across. It's a real comfortable challenge, I'll say, because it's not you getting the word out. It's Netflix delivering all this mail for you, and people just picking up your comedy. So I love it. I would love to work with Netflix again. And How to Act Black did great. It's doing great still, and I'm just still sitting basking in it.
DeRay, thanks so much for talking to me today. Hey, get out here to Vegas. Jimmy Kimmel just opened a comedy club. We need you out here.
Oh, man, yeah, I would love to come do that, man. I need to go to Vegas and hopefully get lost for a few weeks.
Absolutely. You can catch the third season of Hip Hop Squares on VH1. And for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. I'm Jeff Ricky Howard in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.